Yes, so Hella's here. We have our second DIANA ANKUDINOVA reaction. And what better way to hear someone sing for the second time than with a classic song. This is Wicked Game. I feel like everybody knows the original. This performance is from a show called You Are Super and it's from 2019. It's a nice concept. In the video description it says that it's a show for children who had a disadvantaged upbringing, spending a lot of time without parental care. DIANA is only 15 years old here, so it will be nice to see where her musical journey began. At least I assume it was around this time because of how young she is. This one was recommended to me a lot in my previous and first reaction, which was Can't Help Falling in Love with You. If you haven't seen that, card will be up here or in the description below. Without further ado, let's get straight into it.
The world was on fire and no one could save me. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I need somebody like you. I never dreamed that I need somebody like you.
Okay, I guess it's about to go to the chorus now, so just a quick recap of that first verse. There are a few things that I'd like to mention. It's definitely interesting so far. So the first thing is we're in a different key to the original. The original is in B, whereas now we're in E flat. This is one major third out and it's probably to suit her range a bit better. Her whispered opening is atmospheric, isn't it?
The world was on fire.
Immediately shocking, it grips you, it gets your attention. But then the next line,
It's strange what is
that begins on the bottom E flat, which is a little bit lower than your typical expected contralto range. I know DIANA is often referred to as a contralto, so it's cool to see her here, 15 years old, starting straight away, demonstrating that low range of hers, which could very well be why we've moved to this key of E flat minor. So she starts on that E flat there. Then a short while later, there we go, the first real sense of that crazy multi-voice, polyvoice, polyphonic voice, whatever you want to call it. I still can't get my head around it. I listened to Can't Help Falling in Love so many more times after my reaction. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And just a quick point about this arrangement or this version from what we've seen so far. I think it's very clever because it directs us towards DIANA's singing. Before every entry that she has, the instrumentation becomes one note or in octaves in unison. So we still are always hearing only one note before every time she sings. It goes to unison. There is a tiny chord. Next example. Next example. And then again. And again, it's mostly one note, just a tiny chord before she sings. But the point remains, the few seconds before she enters with her voice, we're only hearing one note in the instruments in the background. This is the absolute minimum we can have. There are no chords and they stop playing completely as well. So all of our focus has to be on DIANA singing. It's very clever. I'd like to know where this version is from. Did someone create it for her? Did she create it? Was it already a creation? If you do know, please let me know in the comments. Okay, let's carry on. Just before I paused, by the way, we had this very interesting sound. I have no idea what instrument is making it. It almost sounds like a bell or a gong, an instrument that produces sound through resonating. It's peculiar because in terms of standard tonality notes, it's between a G sharp and an A. You see how it's not quite either of them. It's quite eerie. I guess it adds to this atmospheric sense that I spoke about right at the start. Okay, let's carry on.
Class.
Igor.
What we getting to do to let me dream of you? What we getting to say? You never felt this way. What we getting to do to make me dream of you? I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love.
Igor. Go on, Igor, the last one to press the button. I don't think I'll ever be able to get used to that voice. I'm just so in disbelief of what I hear that I think I subconsciously refuse to believe it. It's amazing, it's amazing. So this phrase here, I like the contrast between the start of it and the end of it. The start of it, it's a more traditionally elegant rise up to her head voice from her chest voice. Her head voice is quite airy, floaty, smooth. And then at the end of the phrase, we get a more traditionally unelegant hard L sound, which when coupled with the polyphonic aspect is just so, I'll use the word again, atmospheric. I love her accent.
This way, what we getting to do?
I think it suits the song so well, speaking about wicked things. And then just to express my disbelief once more,
To let me dream of you.
it still just baffles me. The only way I can think of describing it is as though someone has a filter in their voice. It's incredible. I understand that her voice will not affect some people, or it will affect some people more than others. I'm someone who is affected by her voice. I can't help it. I mentioned the backing instrumentation earlier. I do like it. I think it's very, very nice choice of instrumentation. Overall, it's fairly simple and consistent, but it's designed to make little things stand out, such as the triangle sounding instrument there, which is another resonating instrument, and the beat too. It's a very tropical beat. And then Diana's singing, I just want to point out the contrast. She's singing this note, B flat, in quick succession, but just listen how differently they are within a short space of time. That was an elegant head voice, and then just after that we get, that time it is a belted chest full voice. For context, that note there, the B flat, that's pretty much as high as your choral tenor might be expected to sing in their chest voice. Right, and then we got this bit, which I like a lot. Two reasons why I like this. Number one, the music here sounds a bit Eastern. This is because the scale that she's in, by Western musical standards, we'd expect her to be singing a D natural, but instead she sings a D flat. For any music nerds out there, this is the Aeolian mode, which is a minor scale played by its key signature, where the seventh note is not raised. And the second reason is because, interestingly, with this move away from Western musical standards in a musical sense, her accent, I feel, has become more Americanized here. Fall in love. It's a tiny little juxtaposition, probably not intentional, but I find it really interesting. Yeah, what performance. Her voice, yeah, it just baffles me. Alright, let's carry on.
No one could save me but you.
Wow, very, very cool. So happy to have discovered that. So just after we carried on, we had some more nice vocal runs there, and she's using that funny scale I was speaking about earlier. But let me show you on the piano the difference between what we might expect to hear by modern musical standards versus what she's singing. The scale that we expect to hear, and then what we do hear. I'm not comparing at all, but this style of vocal runs in a different scale to the rest of the piece reminds me of Dimash. And a little fun fact for any pentatonics fans out there, these notes that Diana's singing, this is what we call a pentatonic scale. So pentatonics, their name is a pun on these notes. Then she did a really nice vocal clip or break here. You see where it kind of cuts out and then carries on, which then leads into this part. I was expecting her to slide up, but she doesn't, she stays. And then moves up at the end. It's just so atmospheric. I feel like I'm in a thunderstorm or something watching this. And in this section, she's singing high up in her chest voice, in her full voice. Which weirdly brings attention to her low range, to her low tessitura, because even though she's singing high, especially for her chest voice, her timbre, her tone is completely different to someone with a naturally higher voice, which is quite interesting. And then that leads very nicely towards the end.
No one could save me but you.
Where she's singing right at the bottom of her range and then finishes in a whisper just as she started. The cycle is finished. Yeah, I can imagine the people in the audience here got the shock seeing her sing for the first time live. I was shocked enough with Can't Help Falling in Love, and that wasn't live. And here as well, 15 years old, such a mature voice. I don't think I'll ever understand her voice. It baffles me. Alright, let's leave it there. Let me know in the comments which songs by DIANA ANKUDINOVA you'd like me to react to. As always, thank you very much for watching. Would appreciate a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.